I'm Chitra Subramanian, currently working as principal of International Public School. I have the pleasure, rather experience, I would say, the pleasure of teaching right from kindergarten to class 12. Because, kindergarten children are the ones who teach us. More than we teaching children, learning from children is a wonderful experience and it is always amazing. So I have taught right from kindergarten class 1 to 12. But the best part is the kindergarten. It is now, most people in my interview, they ask, why do you want to, become a principal? What I say is, it's like teaching. It is nothing but teaching. Instead of teaching children directly through teachers, we are going to teach children. So learning never ends. Even, now the focus from teaching, it has come to learning. It is from the teacher taught the taught. Instead, it is learning from the taught. Right? So I'm very thankful for this new NEP which has come. All the focus has been shifted from again teaching to learning and learning outcomes, experiential learnings, lot many things the NEP has brought out with. We all are looking forward for that. It's a collaborative activity, so we all are going to learn together. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the first question that I would want to ask you is, ma'am, what do you think are the online safety issues that are faced by students now, especially when we have come online due to the unprecedented pandemic?
Okay. See, all of a sudden, right from once again, I will say nursery children are onwards, they are in the online platform. And it is, of course, very difficult for them to again tell what is the safety. So how much ever we insist that the parent may be sitting with them when the classes are going on, and it is not always possible for the parents to be with them. So the first and safest thing is when the mobile is in that toddler's hand, they do not know which are the sites they go. And unfortunately, very sorry again to say, the parents' WhatsApp group. Today's children are they learn in one go and they switch on the WhatsApp and the kind of videos we share with each other. It is really a very, alarming situation. We need to be very careful, especially when parents have children below the age of 10. They should immediately delete the messages which they do not want their children to. Similarly, when they Google the sites which they do not want their children to go, especially the YouTubes. YouTubes are very, very dangerous for small children because at this tender age, they will not be knowing which is right and which is wrong. And they see and learn quickly rather hearing and learning. So one YouTube, unfortunately, which they are not supposed to, they say, see, that's it. That's the end of their life. And it gets registered at this young age and it will be very difficult. We ourselves as elders, we find it too difficult to unlearn things. So this unlearning cannot happen in this tender age. So this is especially for the tender age children. And once they grow up, like a different kind of challenge we have with the grown-ups. That is, they are very inquisitive with this Twitter and Facebook and things like that. Again, they do not know what is the limit. That matters a lot. They do not know what to post, and at that age, they want more likes. They keep posting things which attract likes, and the friendship on this online platform, it is very easy. Rather, people who want to attract these youngsters, they know their means and ways of how to attract them. It is like a trap. Once we get into the trap, it is extremely difficult for us to come out of it. See, when we started with our online classes, right in the beginning, we started with the Zoom. Like parents all were very much concerned about the school does not have that security aspect of it, and their account details can be trapped really. And children, many parents are doing these days pay time, online transaction, etc., and every detail is saved in their device, and our children do not know, immediately they have to log out, they have to leave the meeting, all these small issues like which they know very well, but being carelessness, like they may not do all these do's which are supposed to be done, they may not be doing, which will definitely lead to unnecessary unwanted things, like like they are trapped. That's all I can say. All the important messages can be hacked in no time. In fact, we conducted one session for our teachers by the DGP cyber crime. He conducted a wonderful session, and in which he had given so many tips to our parents and children how to save their data which is there in their device. Otherwise it will be hacked. So what are the safety aspects to prevent their data being unhacked? He had taught it very well, and he in fact he was very grateful to share his number, etc., with our parents and our children to contact him in case any, online classes, we don't know even that sometimes without unknowingly children share this abusive language. Children are attending classes, they click, and others photographs they click and share it in the Facebook. How dangerous it is, these things are. So for that he gave us insight how to prevent these things, and if at all someone had posted like this, how to trace them, how to come out of it. All these things were shared by him, and we are once again very grateful to them also. And CSR also conducted one session for online safety for our children, and most of our children got the certificate for that also. So the more we learn, the more we become more vigilant. That's all. There is no end to it. We should keep on learning, because every day, as the more things we learn to save, and the hackers also come out with more ways how to hack the things. So we need to be smarter than them. Thank you.
Also, one more thing, complementing to that, I would like to ask that, and I think you mentioned those things, but how do you think we can educate the children on the tools and techniques of online safety?
Okay, so what we can do is we can tell them to limit the usage of the social networking sites to personal use, etc. And we can also tell them not to write about their issues. Sometimes what happens, we think the more we write about issues, many people will have sympathy, and we can attract, their views also, we think and write. And we can try to avoid mentioning about, for elders, I can say where we work, because sometimes this also, acts adversely. And we can tell our children to keep on changing their passwords every now and then. Then do not automatically trust those posts which are from, whom they claim as they are. We should not be trusting them. And we should not send confidential information through the social networking system. And when, we should be beware of the links which we click, and the software, to download. We want to download, whenever something comes, click on here, you can download this. We should be very, very careful about those systems, and we should try and not to install as many apps as possible. We should not trust the links and the software sent by their friends rather. And what we can say, always they should be skeptical, and they should be very, and what their friends are asking in their social networking. That is very, very important. We can ensure that our system has a good antivirus protection. Social networking sites which are frequent targets for the malware attacks, we can say. We should be very careful about those sites. These are some of the precautions which we may have to again and again reinforce. We have to keep on telling our children all the don'ts rather than saying that, these are the do's. Very important is, as an educational institution, we should keep on conducting these sessions for our children as well as our parents.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Also, I would like to ask that since, like you said in the beginning of our conversation, that now even kindergarten children are online. So, what do you think is the future of education and technology, and how do these mingle together? So, what is the future of education with technology?
Okay, thank you for that question. It is going to be blended learning. Whatever is said and done, even in the NEP, they have said future education, a portion of it is going to be online. So, the more we keep on telling our children, these are the prohibited sites or links, things like that, they create their curiosity. So what we should do is, we should help them learning the adverse effects of those things, so that in this process, what we can do is, we can make them self-responsible. They themselves will be responsible for their own activities or the outcomes what they are going to get involved. So it is nothing like that, educating them from the pros and cons instead of preventing. We even as adult, if somebody tell us, do not do this, do not go to this side, we have that curiosity. So rather, like even that sex education, etc., government is coming up with that. Why? Because it is our foremost responsibility to teach them what is a good touch, what is bad touch. Similarly, here we should be educating them. These are the good sides, these are the prohibited sides, but what are the adverse effects of the same. So as an educator, I would always say, instead of telling them why should not they be doing something, I would say, what will be the consequences if they are doing it? That way, because many children go abroad immediately after their 12th standard for their undergrad. How long we can hold their finger and go along with them? So it is always better to make them self-responsible, to tell them what is good and what is bad for them. And I always prefer giving, like that SWOT analysis. For every aspect, children should be given that SWOT analysis process, so that they themselves come to know what are the strength, weakness, and opportunity and threat. And the more they do this analysis, the more success they become. We have seen it. Practically, we have seen that. Even for adults, it is important for us, so that we have the perception of unlearning. Today, more than learning, unlearning is very, very, very important. So I would say, instead of telling our kindergarten children, do not do this, do not do this, like a type of YouTube, etc., we can give them access to YouTubes like Khan Academy, etc. They will be very happy, and their interest is diverted, because they are bubbly, bundle of energy. So we cannot stop that. Instead, we should channelize it in the right direction, so that their talent is tapped at the right place, at the right time, in the right usage, I would say. And of course, it is not possible to curtail their energy. They should be motivated to use it in the right direction, is my perception. Thank you.
I think that's wonderful, ma'am. Just one last question, since you're the principal of a school. How do you think that the current school system can change so as to support the children?
That's again a very, very wonderful question. See, what I have experienced right now, when the schools are going to reopen, 100% the teachers have to change their mindset, thinking that we are going to teach. Because in this last 10 months, rather a year almost, children know very well where to get their answer, how to proceed. So if the teachers are going to think we are the ones who are going to teach them, I think we are going to be nowhere. Rather, we also take this opportunity to learn better than our children. So we have to, that 21st century skill of critical thinking and the creativity. So teachers have to now create such kind of question which will somewhere stop the critical thinking of the children at some point of level. That is how I think we can make our classroom interaction more interactive and more meaningful, rather, I would say, because I'm very sure children may not respect the teachers if they come to know that they know the answer better than the teacher. That should not be happening. That might happen. That's a very, biggest threat for teachers. That is why I tell my teachers also to do their SWOT analysis. The biggest threat now is children may not be respecting teachers because they get at one click all the information, at one click all the solution for all their problems. But yes, the opportunity is that the same opportunity we are also getting, isn't it? So that, we have to prepare ourselves for 2, 3, 4 tier level higher than our children. The preparedness and the readiness to face our children, if we are ready for that, yes, we all can go hand in hand. Again, the 21st century skill, one of that, collaborative learning. Teachers should never think that we know, we can teach. No. Children also know, we also should learn from them. It is going to be a collaborative learning, because when again online, when teachers were teaching, parents were watching them. Parents know the plus and minus of our teachers. So if we really want to make our education more meaningful, the best way is to utilize this opportunity. Learn, 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 practice, practice, practice. That is the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful hearing from you. We would just like to say that we'll always be up for collaborating with your school, and for any more online trainings that your school would require. We are always up for it. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. And it was wonderful speaking to you.
Thanks, Atan. I sincerely thank Center for Social Research from the bottom of my heart, because we have been benefited from every session, whatever you have conducted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.